Hey guys, welcome back to Tracie's Place. This is a video on my family's COVID journey. Yes, we had COVID. Um, I want to get a couple of things out of the way first before I start the video and before I forget. I am a person who has had COVID, but I am not a doctor, and I'm making this video as an informational video. This information that I share is not intended to prevent, cure, or treat any disease, COVID, or anything else. This is for informational purposes, like I said, and to tell you about my COVID experience, about my family's COVID experience, and just to tell you what I did, what helped us, the symptoms that we had, the things that I've noticed, and the things that helped. I am also making this video for two other reasons. The first one is that a very dear friend of mine who also watches my YouTube channel, she said, and she knew that I had COVID. We shared it with our close family, and probably some people at church knew that we had it, and things like that. Just people close to us. I didn't go announcing everywhere that I had it, which is nothing wrong with letting people know. I'm just stating, only a few people knew. And my friend called me and she said, she was like, well, how are you doing? This and that. And then she said, well, how is this working out? How are you going here and there? And do you just have to wear your mask, or what did the doctor tell you? And blah, blah. I said, wait a minute. I said, now, I'm not just out and about, don't you? She said, no. She said, she sees the videos, okay? The videos that I put up. Since I've had COVID, when I felt a little, even just a little decent, I was on my laptop and I was able to get together some of my previous clips, and make videos. I made the first video, I think a week after my symptoms, because the first week I didn't put out any videos. The first week I had it, and then I felt better and I put out a video, and they were just previous clips. I have a whole bunch of clips. When you're a YouTuber, you film a lot. There's a lot of things that you film. Some things make it in your YouTube videos and some do not. So I had a lot of things filmed, a lot of things to make videos with. So that's why, if anyone out there knows me and maybe know that I was sick and was wondering, well, she's not quarantining and she's not doing this, No. I was not able to do anything. I was not going anywhere. I was in my bed in this room, quarantined. And yeah, just when I would have decent days, because I've only put out 2 videos since I've had COVID. And those were, like I said, previously recorded clips, and I just put them together and publish them, because you want to keep your channel going. So I will be making, if I'm still feeling up to it, like today I'm feeling decent. I was able to do something to my hair, which I have not really been doing, just trying to make myself look decent, because I wanted to make a video for you guys. And yeah, wait a minute, hold on. All right, and the second reason why I'm making the video is because, I like to help people. A lot of the videos that I have done have been to help people. And please excuse if you hear noise. I have the windows open because with COVID, you want to keep the air, you want fresh air flowing in and out. So I have both my windows open so it can just kind of be like a cross wind when it's decent outside. So anyway, y'all know I like to share information with y'all. I love to help people, I love to give information, because sometimes people go through things and they don't know where to turn or whatever, and things that I have been through, and I believe that it can help others. I share it. I believe people should share their experiences, because sometimes a lot of people go through things and to their detriment or to whatever, because they don't have information from other people. People keep their mouth closed pretty tight about things. And you don't tell people all your business, but if you can help someone, it's important to help someone. So you all know, even when I got my colonoscopy, when my husband got his adult braces put on, when he had a hip replacement, that's on the videos. Let's see, H. pylori. I mean, just a lot of different information that I have that I make videos about. So let's get into the video about my experience with COVID. The first thing you want to do is you want to self-isolate when you know your symptoms are more than just something regular. And in today's times, we don't know all the time what the symptoms are. We could just be thinking that it's a sinus infection or a cold or something like that, and it could be COVID. But it's important to pay attention to your symptoms and to your body so that you'll know when something changes or when something is off. And a lot of times with COVID, you can be contagious 2 to 3 days before your symptoms even start. Okay, so on my first day, I just felt a tickle in my throat, and I didn't think anything at first. Very first, I didn't think anything about it, but then I started thinking, because we're hearing about it all the time on every news outlet. When you scrolling through your feed, or whether it's on FB or YouTube or Instagram or whatever, you see it all the time. So it's not hard to think about, oh, could this be, COVID or whatever. So after a couple of hours of this throat tickle, I was like, oh boy, I didn't have a sore throat, but later on in the evening, it started feeling a little more than a tickle. So I didn't panic, but then closer towards the night, I had chills. And then I'd be warm, and I had chills again. I'm like, oh my goodness. So I was telling my husband about what was going on, and I was thinking about telling him to quarantine that night. I was like, oh, it could be the flu. I don't want to get drastic, because I've had these feelings even before, but while COVID was going on, and I've had these symptoms before, and it turned out not to be. It was just a cold or flu, whatever. So it was still in the back of my mind. So I didn't tell my husband to, that first day that I was feeling this, I didn't tell him to go downstairs. So I just made sure that night, and he probably didn't even pay any attention to it, but I made sure I faced the other way, and wasn't like right in his face or anything, or breathing hard on him or something. I turned the other way on purpose and tried to stay like that, because I was having, kind of chills, just feeling funny and stuff, and I was kind of up and down during the night. So I was able to stay on one side and kind of monitor my sleeping positions. So in the morning, I was still feeling bad, and then I started having other symptoms, and I told him, you know what, you need to sleep downstairs tonight. And he was like, you think it's downstairs? He said, I don't know. I said, no, babe, you need to sleep downstairs tonight. I want you to sleep downstairs tonight, because if I have anything, I do not want you to get it. So anyway, he, took his pillow, and we have blankets downstairs already. He got his blanket, all his stuff together. He slept downstairs. But that second day, let me tell you what my symptoms were. I had chills, body aches. I was starting to feel, just that warm feeling. I didn't know if it was a fever or not, but just like that warm feeling. Coughing. It wasn't a bad cough or anything, just a cough here and there. A headache, and I think that's the day I had a migraine like headache, like closer to that night, the second night, closer to the night. I think that's when I had the migraine, and nausea. I had a little bit of nausea. And then on the third day, and I'm just gonna pick my paper up because I was writing it down day by day what my symptoms were, and I cannot off the top of my head remember everything. So the third day, I felt a little better from the chills and different things. But then the third day, I started having pain behind my eyes. And I was still a little nauseated. And I still had the achiness, the body aches and everything. The fourth day, I had a cough here and there. That night, I had like sweats, like where the bed was wet. Sweat, and it wasn't no menopause. So yeah, I know the difference, but I was like a fever sweat. So that was the night I think I had a fever. I didn't take my temperature, I know, but I know that had to be a fever in my opinion. That fifth day, I had brain pain. I had like shooting pulses through my brain. It could be like in the middle of my head, by my temples, and different things, and that scared me. That scared me. I was a little nervous. So I had cough with phlegm, and I had a little bit of a stuffy nose. And that's the day I got tested. It was the 5th day. Okay, I'm going back up to the 4th day, because the 4th day is when, my 4th day is when Isaiah came home sick. He had been at school and he had played in a soccer game. And he did not, I'm like, kids, they do the darndest things or don't do certain things. He came home. My husband had went to the game with him, after school. So when he came home, he had a headache, a bad headache, and a bad backache. And so my husband didn't call me on the phone on the way home. He told me when they got here. And so I'm thinking, and my husband's, he was in the car with him and everything. But anyway, didn't think about that till after. But anyway, so he got home, he was sick. And when I found out he was sick, I cried like a baby. I cried because I'm like, oh my goodness, this is probably COVID. It's probably not the flu. And I was going to get tested anyway, but I had been quarantining from all of them. And my husband had just been, after he slept downstairs that second night, we have a tray right inside the door, and he would just put my food on a tray and stuff. And he had started, I forget which day, but he had started using the kids' bathroom with them, because they weren't, and that weekend that I started, when I started feeling bad with my symptoms, Jalen was out of town. She was out of town. When she came home, she had a little bit of a cough. She came home, it was like my second day. She got home late that night, and it was the end of my second day. And she just, don't even think I knew it then, but when she was out of town and she called me, she did cough a couple of times on the phone. And I was like, how long you had that cough? And she said, before I left, she said, it's not nothing. It's, and she had a little phlegm with hers. But she has sinus issues and things too. So she was just thinking it was something like that. So anyway, when Isaiah came home, I boo-hooed because I knew that all of this was something more. And so on the 5th day, on that 5th day, we all went and got tested. Me, Jalen, Isaiah, and Chris. So we didn't get the rapid test. I think we got signed up for the wrong test. We wanted the rapid test so we could find out right away, but it was the 24-hour test or the 72-hour test. It could come back anytime between 72 hours. Oh my goodness. And so we got tested. The next day, Chris and Jalen found out their diagnosis. Me and Isaiah's came back on the later end of the spectrum. It was like close to that 72-hour period where I was just going, ooh. And so anyway, Chris was negative. His test came back negative, and he didn't have any symptoms or anything. Jalen's came back positive. And I'm like, oh my goodness. So I'm from in here trying to make sure she's all right, and that, Chris is sick. So she had to quarantine. And before that, she wasn't quarantining from Chris because she didn't know she had, and she was just thinking it was just so I'm like, oh my goodness. So then I'm concerned about my husband, thinking, okay, what's going to go on with him. But thankful that the first test was negative. Okay, Jalen's positive. Then 2 days later, me and Isaiah found out that we were positive. Okay, so Isaiah's lasted about 4 days. Jalen's lasted, so we found out, thinking back, she started coughing like the day or two before she left going out of town. But it wasn't a bad cough. She didn't feel bad or anything. It was just like a, cough like that. And then while she was out of town, she had a little bit of phlegm with hers. And then when she got home, hers never got super bad, but sometimes she would have this icky cough, and it was with phlegm and everything. So, but she never got any other symptom. Okay, so he never got any other symptom other than the headache and the backache. I think that lasted, like I said, about 4 days. And so, let's see, 3, 4, 5. The 6th day, okay, the day after we got tested, I was still having the brain pain, the shooting pain. I had body numbness here and there, like in my arms and my legs sometimes, like when I was sleeping and different stuff. And I'm like, oh my goodness, it was more than there, because I've had numbness depending on how I was sleeping and stuff sometimes, but this was like, it was different. And so I had that like 2 to 3 nights in a row. And then I was a little stuffy. And then, okay, that was the 6th day. That's all I recorded on paper. But then after the 6th day, I do know that I started feeling better overall. So that's, I kind of stopped taking, I was thinking I was feeling better, and I kind of stopped recording, how I was feeling. But I do know that I was still having symptoms. They just were not as bad. They just were not as bad. I was still coughing, and I would cough back and forth. And I'll tell you, all of my symptoms throughout the whole thing, and I'm still quarantined now. This is day 21. This is day 21. And my symptoms, total symptoms throughout the whole thing, was the tingling in my throat. I never got a full-blown sore throat, but it was tingling in my throat, chills, muscle aches, joint pain, the body aches. I know that 1 or 2 nights I had a fever from the night sweats that I had, and it was not, and that y'all will get brain fog. I'm sorry, you may not. Everybody's symptoms are different, but a lot of people get brain fog with it. I've had brain fog before, so I knew what this was. So it's not menopause was the word I was trying to think of. I couldn't even think of it. So the night sweats that I had, they were not menopause. They were from like feverish, sweats. Difficulty breathing. That's an issue. Not difficult. I won't say that. Odd breathing. I can breathe and breathe well, and the breathing was an issue on and off. That's something that makes you get nervous, is the breathing, because you hear about it all the time in the lungs and all that. But mine was more like an odd feeling, and my breathing was not pure like normal. So I could feel it here, and behind my nose. So I think the last thing I was talking about was difficulty breathing. I'm sorry. That was kind of, a little scary. Like I said, it wasn't bad, but it was just an odd feeling. So if I was on the phone and I was talking to someone, and we might have started laughing and joking about something or whatever, and they try to make me feel better and stuff, I started laughing, and I get that feeling, and I'm like, oh, okay, I gotta calm down. So I would feel that feeling quite a few times, and I would have to calm myself down. And sometimes it would be just out of the blue, and it hadn't been that I was laughing. It was just out of the blue. So just monitor your breathing. You might want to have someone bring you a pulse. I think it's called a pulse ox, a little that monitors your oxygen. If you can, have someone bring you one of those. You can get them at Walgreens. So yeah, and probably Walmart too. I'm not sure, but I know like at Walgreens, CVS, or something like that. I had a cough off and on, and I think like towards the 3rd, 4th day, it was more so with the phlegm and stuff. And then I also had loss of taste and smell. That was like day 4, I think. Day 3 or 4, and I didn't have it on here, but I remember it was day like 3 or 4. And you talk about upset. Y'all know I like to eat. Y'all know I like to eat. So that was I was distraught. I was about distraught over there. And so my loss of taste and smell happened. I could taste whether something was sour or if it was sweet or salty, but I could not taste the flavor of anything. And then I could also, of course, taste the texture of things. So all of those things, even though I couldn't taste and smell, and that makes you kind of angry, upset. And so even though those things are going on. The backup senses, I guess if you want to call it, like I could taste if it was salty, I could taste the salt, oh my goodness, and the different things like that, that made you know still that you were eating. It was kind of satisfying still, even though you couldn't taste the flavor. You know, I could taste certain notes of things, so that made things a little better. My sense of taste and smell are still not back all the way, y'all. I cannot really, it's very faint, very faint. But in the beginning, I lost my appetite a little bit. I never really lost my appetite, y'all, but just a little bit, like the second and third day. And then it came back. Yeah, my appetite, yeah, usually always pretty good. So lost the taste of smell. I had nausea just for a couple of days, but I did not have any vomiting. A lot of people, some people have vomiting. I did not have any vomiting. I did experience diarrhea, and that is one of the ones that lasts for me a long time. Blurry vision. Blurry vision. I got that a couple of days, and then the night before last, and this was like what, day 19? I had blurry vision, you know. Let's see what else. I had dry mouth. I had dry mouth a couple of times. I guess I would say about a good 5 times. And I had it yesterday too. Dry mouth. Shooting brain pain, like I said. You get brain fog. Sometimes you kind of lose track of what you're saying or what you want to say or something like that. Fatigue. I wouldn't say I was super fatigued during the day. I know a lot of people have fatigue when they have COVID, you know, during the day, and they're just tired like all the time. I wasn't tired like all the time. I did have fatigue in the first couple of days, but my other fatigue came like 10th, 11th day, and I would wake up and just feel like I could not get up, and I would be like in between that sleep awoke state, but I was still, as soon as I closed my eyes, or I don't even know if I closed my eyes, I was dreaming quick and like dreams. And then sometimes I even had problems sleeping, and I usually don't have problems sleeping. I'm a good sleeper, and I had problems sleeping. One night I stayed up till like 4 in the morning, and you know, I tried the sleeping scriptures and the healing scriptures, listening to that, and then after a couple of nights it was not working, and yeah, array of symptoms you know, you can have. So that is basically all of the symptoms that I have. Not everyone has the same symptoms. Like I had, it seems like all of them, but not bad. I didn't have a bad case of COVID. I'm praying that it still stays that way. This is day 21. My second test was positive, so I'm still quarantining, even though a doctor told me that I don't need to quarantine anymore. After day 10, you know, you can, if you're feeling better, as long as you haven't had a fever, like within, I think it's 72 hours, you're good to come out. But then I also heard from another doctor and from some videos that I watched, if you're still having certain symptoms, it's best to stay quarantined. So even though I am not happy being in this room, I want to stay quarantined because my husband never tested positive, so I would imagine he doesn't have any antibodies or whatever built up. So I will stay in this room because I don't want him to get it, because you never know how different people will get it. The kids, they had mild cases. Jalen had the mildest case. Okay, so now that I'm 21 days in, I'll tell you the symptoms that I'm still having now. And I am not going to confess to be a long hauler, but there is a certain thing called COVID long hauler where your symptoms last a long time. And that's where I am. I'm trying to discover whether I am contagious or not, because I don't want to go around my husband yet. Don't want to go around him until I know, you know, at least I hope, you know, to know or have more information that it's safe to do so. So what I'm still having is the odd breathing at times. I still have that. Still have the cough off and on. It's not like constant, but I have it off and on. I'm still not tasting and smelling correctly. It's gone back to that low level of kind of barely tasting and smelling. Um, the diarrhea still there. Blurry vision off and on. Like I said, I had dry mouth yesterday. So those are my symptoms that I'm still having. I'm not having fever. I haven't had a fever in like, oh goodness, I guess a week and a half or so. So I'm good there. My husband's like, you're probably fine. And other people are like, you're probably fine. And I may be, but I don't want to infect my husband. So I'm just trying to be as safe as I can. But it'll probably be soon that I, kind of get to where I can come out in the house a little bit. But I've been going outside. Make sure you go outside. Make sure you keep your windows open as much as possible. Get fresh air in. Go outside and sit outside, whether it's your backyard, front yard, or you can maybe take a little walk in front of your house or whatever. And my husband just told me the other day, he said, get in the car and go driving. And so there we do have enough cars to where we don't have to use the same one, because the germs stay a certain. I could still spray in there and wipe stuff down when I get done, but he's like, just go for a drive. He said, do go for a drive, because I don't get depressed. I'm not depressed or anything, because it's been 21 days. I've basically been in this room, and not depressed or anything, but it gets a little, because there's only so many movies you can watch and TV that you can watch. I've been reading my Bible and trying to pray more and stuff like that, watching TV, talking to people on the phone, FaceTiming with them. That was our way of communication in the house, was FaceTiming. My husband would FaceTime me and see what I wanted to eat. And I have to say thank you to my husband. He has been doing an awesome job. Taking care of all of us, because he had to take care of all of us at the same time, making meals, and 3 meals a day basically. Sometimes we didn't do lunch, because even though I didn't lose my appetite, I wasn't starving all the time either. I could eat like a piece of fruit or something like that. And but he'd make us breakfast and he'd make dinner. And my sister-in-laws, they brought over food, disinfectant, because we already had some, but they brought over 2 more of these, and microban. She brought soup, lasagna, some medicine, COVID tea, because I called someone trying to get it, and that they were closed. This place only opens on I think Thursday through Saturday, and when I called, they were closed. So when I saw that COVID tea in the care package that she sent, I was like, oh boy, thank you. So yeah, so she brought a lot of stuff. My sister brought over food too, and so we were very blessed, very taken care of between my husband, my in-laws, and my family. We were good. And I would be remiss if I didn't take a second to thank all my friends and family who prayed for me, sent cards, texts, calls, and all that. Thank you all so much. Thank you to my sisters, my nieces that prayed for me, and also my sister in California especially. She's a little prayer warrior like my mother. And when they pray, things happen. When my mother prayed, things happen. And I believe my sister has that mantle too. And thank you to another sister-in-law who provided dinner on another day. And thank you so much to my sister friend, my sister in Christ, Dawn, who prayed me through. She went before the Lord on my behalf and brought a word from the Lord for instruction, encouragement, and comfort on several occasions. I cannot thank you enough. I know it had to be a little tough on my husband though, and he don't like being downstairs away from me, and I don't like being away from him, but unfortunately it's necessary right now. So like I said, we FaceTime, and he'll stand at the door for a few minutes sometimes, and I always say, spray, because we have microban, and we have this disinfectant spray that's just like Lysol, and then we have 2 Lysols as well. Some stuff is kept downstairs, and then some stuff is kept up here. Some things right outside the door. So like when we would go outside, because he would make sure that me and the kids went outside like during the day. And so when we would leave out of our room, we had our masks on. So make sure when you are in the house with other people, you're distancing yourselves and you're wearing your masks around each other or near each other, whatever. So when we go out our room to go outside to sit out and get some sun or some air, we put on our mask before leaving out of our room. I would take this spray and I would spray behind us, and even a little in front of us and to the side of us. I was just trying to be as careful. Whatever you know to do, do. So, and then we sit outside. He usually opened the door for us because I was like trying to think of everything. I was like, open the door so I don't have to touch it, you know. And then sometimes if I had to touch it, if he like was gone, and I was trying to get outside, I would, you know, mask up and all that stuff. I would use a paper towel or something. Even though my hands would be clean, I'd make sure my hands were clean. But you can't be too careful. And I get a paper towel or something, and I unlock the door, open the door, and stuff like that. And even so, when we came back in, I would be spraying behind us and up the steps and everything. So he, you know, just trying to disinfect the air, you know, for around him. Alright guys, I'm going to switch subjects because this video is getting long. I want to let y'all know the things that I took to help out with symptoms and different things and try to up my immune system. So there's a lot of different things that you can do if you have a milder case, an average or milder case of COVID and you're treating yourself at home. There's a lot of things that you can do to help yourself out. And this is what I did. I'll just say that. I'll change that. I'll say this is what I did. I took vitamin C, zinc, magnesium, so I have that at home, and vitamin D3. A lot of times our immune system is compromised. It's because we don't have it up enough. We don't have enough levels of vitamin D3, K2. I don't have that here at home, but K2 is important, and I'm going to get some of that. You want to be taking your probiotics and your and a vitamin supplement that, like the what do you call it, the everyday vitamin that has a lot of everything. This is the X Factor vitamin that I take. Also, I take probiotics from Plexus. So now I did not take these while I had COVID, because when you get it, you don't know what you're supposed to do, what you're supposed to take all at one time. And so I did a lot of research, and this is just what I decided to do. So I had been taking these before, the vitamins and the Lord, there you go again, probiotics. And but to boost my immune system, you know, I didn't want to be taking too much of one thing. I didn't know how many grams were good to take of certain things. There were certain things that I could look up, and then certain things, you know, all the information becomes too much, and you know, you're sick at the same time trying to rest and all that. So I just did the best I could. But yeah, those vitamins, and then like I said, take your probiotics and stuff. Even like if you don't have COVID, try to keep your immune system up. Take these vitamins. Find out how many grams of different things that you're supposed to take. I also took an aspirin because I'd heard about blood clots too. I didn't take them all. I didn't take the oops, sorry about that. I didn't take the aspirin a lot, but I was concerned about, I've heard about blood clots and stuff, so I just wanted to thin my blood a little bit in case, you know, so I just took that a couple times, the aspirin. What else? Acetaminophen. You can come, you need to come in.
What other seasoning do you use for your tacos? Just the seasoning salt?
When I'm sauteing the ground turkey, I put a little bit of garlic powder in, and not a whole bunch, but just a little bit. But basically the taco seasoning is it.
One for each pound of meat, right?
I use 2.5 total.
Okay. All right.
Also for the fever and the headache, migraines and stuff, I had a specific migraine. This is Kroger brand. Y'all know, don't get brand crazy. You don't have to. A lot of the store brands are just as good. A lot of brands make the store brands and they be the same thing, just the store brand is cheaper. So got the migraine relief, and then this other acetaminophen, and it says arthritis pain. So this is what I was using for my body aches and stuff. You don't have to. You can use a regular acetaminophen, which is Tylenol, or a store brand. You can use that. Also, I had this medicated chest rub. It's like Vixad. I think in my sister-in-law, she brought, I think, the Vixad. But anyway, I had one, whichever one we had here at home, I used it, and then Jalen used one in her room because she had the cough and stuff too. So she put it on her chest and, throat, and I did the same thing, put it on my chest and throat, and also on the bottom of our feet. I don't know if you all have heard of that. I heard that like years ago. Put it on your feet, and then my sister-in-law reminded us to put it on the bottom of your feet and put socks on. So that helps a lot, y'all, a lot. Rub it when you have the cough and the phlegm and the breathing thing. The Vixad, and like this is a Kroger brand, that works very well, very well. Also, I think I took this once, and this is the Dayquil, so it didn't make me like sleepy and stuff, but I only took this maybe twice. I know once, but maybe twice. And depending on your symptoms, you may want to use mucus thinners, so different things like Mucinex or something like this that would help with congestion and the mucus and all that stuff. Okay, so that's the medicine, and then there may be some other things that I didn't have or didn't use or didn't need or whatever that you may need to. So always do your own research and check into that. And then, guys, remember to stay sanitized. Like my husband did come all the way in a couple times when he had to get clothes, or maybe some deodorant or something like that. He forgot to take the second day or whatever. He had to come in a couple times. He put his mask on, and I would spray in here and everything. And the doorknobs, spray that with your Lysol, or either wipe them down with the Clorox. Wipe down the surfaces and stuff. Clean the bathroom. And after a while, like when the kids found out they had it and stuff, they used this bathroom. All three of us used this bathroom. Chris would use that bathroom. And when they tested negative, they waited about 2 or 3 days, because I was like, no, wait. They was like, we can use our own bathroom. And I was like, no, just wait a minute. So when they went in there, made sure to sanitize, and they would still make sure that bathroom was clean, because all three of them were using it, and they're all basically into daily life. My husband works from home. My daughter goes into the office twice a week. And then Isaiah's at school. So they still need to keep that bathroom sanitized and clean, just from the three of them using it, like in between and stuff. So yeah, so I'm the only one using the bathroom in our room now. And so even when my husband gets my dishes to take downstairs, and y'all, they probably about tired of me, all of them, I'm like, wash your hands. When you go down there, wash, when they close the door, leave it out of here. I'm like, wipe down, the doorknob. I'll be like, I spray, like before they come in, like Jalen, she's social. She'll want to come in and talk. And so she has come in and stood at the doorway. I've had her to spray when she comes in, spray right there, but she'll stay right there. But I'd be like, put like a barrier, I guess. Be spraying right there. And then when she leaves, or she goes back into the hallway, then we spray. And we do the process. I know it don't sound quite accurate, but we know in our minds how to do it. And this is important as everything else. There's a such thing called a viral load. Even if you don't have COVID, you're just being careful or whatever, and we'll remember this as we get acclimated back out to the world. There are certain places that you can go that there's more a bigger viral load is susceptible. And when I say a bigger viral load, that means more of the virus concentrated in one area. Like someone said, they know they got it when they went to a concert because everyone was close together. Some things that opened up. Everything was close to. People were close together. People were singing and shouting and all that along with the concert and stuff. And who knows how many people had it. So you're in this one space, and then it's just going back and forth all over the arena or wherever you are. Even if you're outside and you're concentrated in one area and you're close together, and people, when you sing, it projects. When you sneeze, cough, and laugh and sing, it projects. So if you're concentrated in one area with people, whether inside or out, it's better outside, but you still get it, in a concentrated area. But when you're inside a venue, and people are coughing, laughing, talking, joking, all that, that's a big viral load. It's like that virus, you don't know who has it, multiple people could have it, and it's concentrated in one area. So if you lessen your viral load, a lot of times, as I understand, you might not get a good intake of the virus. Somebody could be in your area and they may have COVID, but if they're over there and you're over here, you're not close together, you're distancing, you're social distancing, you could get a whiff of it, get a little bit of it, and as I understand, your case may be milder if you don't get a big viral load. And then sometimes people are asymptomatic. Sometimes people are their immune system is so good or whatever, they're not going to get it. I won't say they won't ever get it or whatever, but whatever circumstances got it for you, it won't get it for them. People's immune systems are different. People have underlying conditions. Some do, some don't. So all that depends on, different factors. But if you lessen your viral load, try not to go into places where there's a lot of people all concentrated together. And also have your mask on. Wear your mask. It is very important. Y'all, okay, this is the very last thing. Please, and people who definitely watch me, I sure would hate if y'all did this. And people watching now, please do not judge other people. And I am so, this is so upsetting to me. I get so angry about this. Do not judge people for what their decision is, whether they get the V, and I'm going to say V because this platform is sensitive, that I'll write it right here. A lot of platforms are so sensitive to that they won't play the video, or they'll won't let it get out there or whatever. But y'all, share this video with someone you love. At least share it with 2 people today. Share it with 2 people today. This is very important. But anyway, do not judge other people for their decision whether to get the V or whether not to. I hear so many people, and it is that is not right. It is not right. Most people, woosah, most people are trying to do the best that they can for their families. There are some people out there willy-nilly like, I'm not getting this, and, I am doing this and you should do, blah, blah, blah. Most people, that is not their mindset. Most people, like I said, are trying to do the best that they can with the information that they have. There are news media outlets. A lot of people, there's 2 sides, y'all, and a lot of times it's politically based, depending on what side of the political spectrum you're on. A lot of people, they're listening to one rhetoric from this news media or this political side. The other side is doing the same thing. Common sense will tell you Listen to everything. Listen to things that both sides have to say, both professionals on both sides. And let me tell you this, there are no experts. I'm sorry, there are no experts, because you become an expert when something has lasted a long time and you're able to study it a long time, have treatments, and know what worked for most of the people or everybody or whatever. This thing has been around for 2 years as we know it. 2 years, and this kind of state and it's going up and down and all that. About 2 years. Okay, roughly 2 years. Ain't nobody no expert. So listen to all the information you can and make a calculated or try to make the most wise decision you can. This V is not for everybody. If you want to get it, get it. If you don't want to get it, don't. But everybody needs to have your mask on, because it does help to prevent the spread. It might not prevent everything. You know, people say, oh, well, particles can get through that. It don't do nothing. Masks don't do that. Yes, it does. Yes, it does. There are, you know, I don't know all of how the masks are made and all that stuff, but it does help. You can watch studies that have been done and perform tests before, whether when you spray something through a mask, it doesn't have as much output if nothing was there. The mask is a barrier for something, okay? So that helps. Be as clean as you can with your hands. Wash your hands and don't touch your face. Don't touch your face when you've touched something else or whatever. If you're not at home and things are not safe, wherever you are out and about, don't touch your face. And then make sure your nose is covered with the mask. Your nose and your mouth, try to make sure it's tight to your face. Some people wear those loose masks and the air is escaping and getting out, and or either those droplets can fall in if you don't have that mask that can be more secure. Nothing is 100%, but there are precautions you can take to lessen, you know, if you get it, or lessen the severity. I think you can lessen the severity of it depending on how careful you are. Sometimes, not all the time, not all the time. Like I said, if you're right up, because there was one time, this is before we got it, but it was one time when me and Isaiah were real close. We were horsing around and playing around, and I felt all of his breath right on me. I mean, he was just like, and we were just talking, and I went, and I thought about it. You know, you can intake a large amount of somebody else's air versus sometimes just a little bit, you know. So that's that viral load thing. Look that up and find out about that yourself. But anyway, y'all know, please don't. Please, please, please do not judge people for their decision, because like I said, this is not for everybody. Some people have gone to permanent sleep behind taking that. And a lot of people say, well, you didn't check to see whether those other vaccinations you got or your kids got, whether how long they have been out and this, that, and the other. Some people do. Some people do. Not everybody gets every vaccination for themselves or their children. They don't. Some people are the ones that are reading every line. And I am a researcher and a studier, and I'm a thinker. And I'm not going to just do everything that somebody tells me to do. So whether, and I'm not going to say whether I did get it or whether I didn't get it, but you can get COVID whether you are vaccinated or whether you are not. And I don't understand why they're allowing people to lose jobs and different things like that because they are not. It doesn't matter. Both can spread it, whether you have this or you don't. Everybody can spread it. If you have yours and you know you're good, or either if you don't have it and you're good, you feel your immune system is up, or you know, some people feel different ways. My thing is just stop the judgment. It's tacky, it's wrong, and it's bad. It's bad. If you don't get it, fine. If you do get it, fine. Wear your mask, wash your hands, don't touch your face, Stay out of places with a large viral load and do the best that you can. All right, so that is all. I love you all. And if you have any questions, put them down in the comment section. If you don't, a lot of times comments help the video get out, or even if you just give a thumbs up down in the comment section, please do that. Please don't be one that doesn't comment or doesn't say anything. Please at least thumb up the video and make some kind of comment in the comment section below this video, because this is a very important video. All right, I love you all. Be blessed, stay safe, make the best decision you can, and I hope to bring some new videos until I start bringing, get back more on a regular schedule of filming and things. Look around my site. I have videos on so many different things. So share this video, like I said, to loved ones, friends, or whatever. Share on your Facebook page or whatever. But I'm just trying to get information out so that people will know what someone else did. I think this video is great for that. All right, and I think that's all. All right, thanks for sticking with me. Love you. Pray for me, because like I said, I'm still having symptoms, but I'm praying, I'm believing all is well, and I'll be back to everyday life soon. All right, but I'll see you guys next time right back here on Tracie's Place. Take care. Bye.